after the picks and bans?
I see Uller open, Geb open, Odin open. There's a lot of options here. A lot of options. And blowing my mind here, Tiamat is also still open on this board with all these mage bans.
Did we talk it into existence here? Are we going to
I
see a
believe we
Tiamat
did
first
earlier.
pick?
I believe we did. Blowing my mind here, Tiamat is also still open on this board. Interested to see what comes here.
Did we talk it into existence? I am too. There is a lot of options that are available here, especially like you said with, what we consider the most OP god in the game right now in that Tiamat. I mean, giving a mage damage mitigation is just kind of insane.
Even after all the nerfs too, she's still there.
Yeah.
Still there.
It does look like they are taking their time to think about this, but again, with that Sobek and Ardio and Persephone out, those are three pretty decent gods, so you do want to try to build your team comp as far as you can. If you are Cursed Cowboys after this first pick, you do get 2 in a row, so who are you looking to take if you are the Cursed Cowboys?
The Cursed Cowboys, maybe go for your dual lane first, get that locked down. Maybe a mid-jungle combo. To me, it really just depends who's there and who your team's comfortable with playing. Maybe go for your dual lane first, get that locked down.
I do agree with that, and we do see they are definitely taking some time here. So it is a thought. And we are going to see our first pick here in just a second. But again, the 2 mages banned out immediately. It does look like, Mind Goblins is trying to take out that mid lane. Is that a win condition for the Cursed Cowboys? But again,
could very well possibly be. I mean, you know where your strengths are when you're on your team, you hope anyway. You know where you want to play through. It's just depending on, what pick you're comfortable with at that position.
Right. I definitely think at this level, comfort picks are, the move here. You get somebody that you're comfortable on both mechanically and, how to group with them. It is definitely better than taking those, what they consider meta picks, the niche picks. So I am interested to see
I should have created a world that you do not exist in.
Yeah, me too, especially after this long wait time.
And we do see the Tiamat. So, Blaze, you were spot on. What do we think about the Tiamat here, as if I don't already know?
I mean, how can you not love it? Huge burst damage, tons of mitigations in the ground stance. I mean, 2 forms of escapes. Yeah, what don't you want? It's literally a mid laner that can do everything.
And we do see a Geb and Ryzen hovered here and locked in. So do you like the Ryzen counter here? I know Geb is kind of one of those staples right now in the meta, but the Ryzen pick, do you like that into the Tiamat?
I do. I mean, you can clear from far. You got a dash to get away, CC me and all. I mean, it's just a good solid pick into a Tiamat, which you really can't say that about many mages anymore.
You cannot.
Also love the Geb here too as well, with the buff to his ult. Just doing the flat damage instead of percent damage anymore. Geb is definitely now a top guardian to pick.
Yeah, and I do think that could also be flex. I have seen it flex into the solo role a little bit, so I am curious to see what that top pick, if they do, kind of see who Mind Goblins picks, as we see the Chiron picked here and the Loki locked in, or hovered, I should say. What do we think about the Chiron and the Loki both being locked in now?
I like the Chiron. He's got that CC immunity on the 1. Loki, never been a huge fan of, but I just feel like that's more of just a niche pick for somebody who can play Loki well. In my opinion, I don't think with the buffs, some items in the jungle, his combo can definitely do some damage. Jungle is just an OP role right now, and I can definitely see the Loki pop.
Yeah, especially with, within the hands of somebody like Dummy, who's known to pop off and just dumpster here. And we do see the Rama go ahead and lock in here as well. So we do get that dual lane early before the second set of picks and bans. So the first 3 here, what are we favoring here? Do we like the Cursed Cowboys or do we like the Mind Goblins so far?
From first 3, I like the Cursed Cowboys so far. I like the Geb, Ryzen combo. That could be deadly. I mean, Rama. The Cerberus hovered here, then taken away. I like that pick.
We do see a couple of flex picks here as well. As like I said, the Loki could also go to that solo lane. It couldn't be just a jungle pick, and we see the Geb. So there is a lot of flexibility from both teams, and I am curious to see what we come out. And we do see the Cerberus banned in the first of the second set of bans, as well as the Fenrir.
Don't hate the Fenrir ban or Cerb ban. I think Cerb's definitely a top solo laner right now. I mean, if you can get even a little bit ahead on him, there's almost just no killing him. He's just too good in lane, sustain, anti-heal. He's got it all. The Thanatos then coming out. I like it. Thane's pretty good right now again with that new jungle build. Tons of power coming out in every build. That scythe could just easily 80% you be early, no problem. And the Ganesh ban. That might be a target ban, I'm not sure. But then we have the Kukulin come out here, which I always love a good Kukulin. Easy laner, no problem. Great dive potential at the end of the game. Huge ult, knock up 2, 3, 4 people. That can change a team fight just like that. And then I see Ardio being hovered here.
Well, I
love
don't
the
think
Ardio.
Ardio can be hovered because he has been banned.
Greetings, friend.
Oh, well,
That
it
looks
is.
better.
That looks a little bit better. Then now I see a Kepri locked in as well as Cthulhu. Love the Kepri. Love the Cthulhu. Cthulhu, just stay alive in lane and you're looking to team fight at the end. Kepri, same thing. You protect that back line, you bring them back in a big team fight, instantly changes that dynamic of that fight there. And then we see a Robin being locked in last, which I love Robin. He comes in, great burst damage on that one. He's got a little bit of sustain in his kit. That ult, if you can hit more than one target, that is massive. And he's got the 2 for basically the seeds and beads and Aegis combo there, so you really can't beat that.
And it does look like after, the picks and bans have went through that is going to be a Loki jungle and a Geb support. So after seeing that and where everybody should go for the most part, who are we favoring here in the early draft stage?
In the early draft stage, I think it's looking pretty even, actually. I love the Kepri Cthulhu picks there. I really think that evens it out. I'm interested to really see this Robin and Loki matchup in the jungle. I think that's really what it's going to come down to for me.
I do know Robin has been seeing a lot of play here, and especially with that new meta where you have the CC immune 2, and you have all this damage and a low cooldown on your 1, so the items are prioritized for him to play well. But again, I do think it's going to come down to just the grouping, and like you said, I think this is going to be a game of picks because it's very hard to pick off a Tiamat, it's very hard to pick off a Raijin. Rama's pretty safe as well. So with a team like this, both of them are safer, I should say. What is the game plan here for Mind Goblins? What is the game plan for Cursed Cowboys? Who do you want to play through? Who do you want to try to get ahead? What's the goal here for the end game?
I mean, you get that Rama online late game, he can shred any team. The Astral Arrows, you can just shoot right through a line of people and just absolutely melt. And combo with the Gebel, I mean, that could absolutely deadly Kukulin ult. I mean, Raijin, he could even take Fear, so you can just have easy shots. And then maybe even start a fight with them Rama ults. Get him in there, chunk somebody real quick. Robin takes him out. Instant 4v5, and you're just pushing.
So it sounds like a little bit of a bob and weave here for Cursed Cowboys. And if you are Mind Goblins, with this Tiamat, with this Kepri that can keep anyone alive when ult is up, it seems like they have more of a dive comp. Am I correct?
Absolutely. I mean, anytime you have a Tiamat, you have to dive. I mean, that's half of her kit right there. You got to get in there and fight. And then that's the thing. You get that Tiamat back with that Kepri ult, game changer right there.
Right, and it does look like we're going to go ahead and get into the game here. Everything pretty standard from what I see so far. It does look like we do have the Loki and the Rob in jungle. The Geb is going to the support lane. So, who has the early game pressure here? Who's trying to play for the late game? Who's trying to play for early game? Are they both, looking for an early game, late game? What's the idea here?
Well, to me, obviously, Rama is more late game. That Gebalt late game is tremendous. Same with Raijin. Tia, I just believe, is pretty good all throughout the game. She's always going to have the pressure once she gets to, her first 3 buttons on lane there. I think Chiron's just pretty solid all throughout the game. He can definitely get some early pressure with that 1-2 combo and the dash as well.
Do agree, and it does look like we're just gonna have the standard minion clear at wave 1. Nothing crazy here, nothing too crazy here. We do see the Loki and the Tiamat go ahead and head over to these lefts. Is that something that you want to... Oh, and it does look like we have a kill very quickly. So just like we talked about, wanting to get Killjoy ahead, Chiron does pick up that first blood. Blizz, what did you see there? That was super quick.
It looked like Chiron was just playing too far up for his own good there. He's still level 1. Everyone else is level 2, I believe, at the time. Didn't have a rollout or any escape to get out.
Yeah, and that Chiron, he goes, oh, and it looks like Loki's going to go ahead and take a stun here from the Ravana, but nothing comes of it. So again, that's what we talked about. Killjoy on that ADC roll, wanting to get ahead, and he hit level 2 and just immediately dove. So I don't know if that's something that's gonna come back in the end. And it does look like Cullen here is pretty low on this Cthulhu as well. Don't think there's anything that's going to come of it yet, but we do see Loki already invading those back camps on the right side of the map. So we could be looking for a gank here on this Cullen. So, we hit it pretty on the nose here as Loki is looking to dive this solo laner here. And it looks like he might just decide to go ahead and back off. But, Dummy invading at level 2, we have the Killjoy with the first blood. If you are Mind Goblins, this is exactly what you want, correct?
Oh, absolutely. You always look for that first blood, get your team rolling, get the spirits up. I mean, mental is half this game. I mean, if you're playing good, your team feels good, you're going to make the right plays, you're going to use comms. And it looks like we got a Ravana coming in.
Ravana does hit that stun, but Tiamat, again, just such a safe god with the damage mitigations and the stance switch to get you out of harm's way. But Kepri go ahead and hits the plug on the Geb, and it does look like he's going to make it out safe. So I don't know about you, but it definitely looks like Mind Goblins wants to push the aggression early. I mean, we've seen, dive after dive after dive, and this is what we want from Mind Goblins with this team comp, correct?
Absolutely. The Geb really just can almost do nothing for clear. He just basically has the 2. You're really just looking to keep this Geb alive and farming for late game. Basically the duo alive and farming for late game, because that's what they're there for. Early, they're not going to win lane. I mean, we know that against the Chiron. He's just going to out-clear you. With the Kefri too as well, just that little extra tick damage just goes so far.
Right, it looks like we see a little bit of hand fighting over here as the Ryzen goes ahead and does drop his teleport in there, but Loki goes ahead and confirms those right lanes. So Dummy is farming like an absolute madman right now. That Loki is going to get very big if they do not stop him invading, hitting those neutral camps. As we do see Chiron just again with that damage. The Bluestone, it looks like he did not actually go the Bluestone build. Is that something, that might be a little different? Because from what I assume, the Bluestone on Chiron is pretty decent. As we do see Spooky go ahead and drop Taz on the Ryzen. And it does look like Killjoy is also going to get Vile with the Rama. Again, the dive comp, and they are still fighting as Ravana is poked out, as well as the Geb. So a quick 3-0 here from Mind Goblins, as Kepri isn't done yet, looking for a fight, but he thinks wiser and is just going to kind of back out here. So, you get the pick in mid lane, you get the pick in duo lane. You're kind of rolling right now. Is this something that you want to keep going for this early game, or you just kind of want to, keep your farm up and try to stay ahead, or are we pushing the objective here? It was super early, sub 5 minutes.
Oh, I'm pushing the objective, absolutely. I mean, you're already on a roll. Your Loki's ahead. He's got Jotuns on the line already. You want that guy holding lanes on cooldown, and that's what he's there for.
I do agree there. And it does look like I said that farm is what's going to, help him very late, as the Cthulhu does seem like he is poked out here, playing a little bit aggressive against this Cullen with his rage almost stacked. But we do see Loki hovering as well as the Ravana in this right lane. Loki does look like he is going to go ahead for an invade. Dummy is a little bit bigger. He is trying to challenge, as we do see the rage from Sneaky as diving in on this Loki. Cthulhu is going to dive in as well, and we see Dummy Slick pick up the kill. And Ravana does look like he is trying to... Oh, the blink from Rama here. We're going to go ahead and see the fear from Cthulhu. And the Ravana ult does pick up Dummy as we see a Cthulhu come out. He is massive. Ravana is trying to juke for his life, but it looks like he is going to fall to Yuri as well. So, you do trade your jungle for their solo. Their solo and their jungle. A good trade if you are Mind Goblins for that first death, as we do see the Ryzen go ahead and blink out of harm's way. And Geb is rotating in. So another good fight from Mind Goblins. Is that correct? Is that something, we're still pushing the objective here super early? That was an aggressive dive, knowing, I assume that he knew Ravana was going to be there on cooldown, trying to pick up that blue and taking the quick on. As we do see Kepri go ahead and grab the Geb. Ryzen is at half health, and we do see a stun from Geb come out. Tiamat is going to try to push the objective again, but they are going to get out with the safe pick. Just a lot of hand fighting, It seems like Mind Goblin just kind of I wouldn't say ego challenging, but with the team that they have, they're doing exactly what they want. You know, they want to dive, they want to get ahead early. If you are Cursed Cowboys, how do you counteract this? How do you go about fighting somebody who wants to dive so hard?
Wards number one, you got to see them when they're coming. You have to be ready for it. You know they're going to dive you, so just be ready for it.
You see Loki is driving on this Ravana here. We do see Loki come out with the stun, and we're going to drop the 2 here, and Ravana is going to... Looks like he is going to make it out. A great knockup from the Geb, and we are not done fighting here. The Colin is going to drop, and we do see the Kepri ult come out and save that Loki. Cthulhu is going to go ahead and try to pin for this Loki and do damage here. A great play from them, but we're not done yet as Cthulhu is diving this Colin. Kepri is going to try to hit the stun here, but it does not come out. Chiron is diving a Geb and a Raijin over on the left side here. Tiamat is following up. And it looks like after all that fighting, all the hand fighting, we're not going to see anybody fall here. So a good little stand there from Cursed Cowboys. But go ahead and finish what you were saying as far as, you know, you want to get the wards out if you are cursed. It does look like Tiamat is going to not find anything there. So again, you know, we have been talking about the dive comp, the dive comp, the dive comp. Iron diving a Geb and a Raijin in that team fight by himself. Kepri, Cthulhu diving the Kakolan. Loki, Ravana. If you are Cursed Cowboys, do you just need to group up a little bit better? Or is it something, you know, you just kind of have to deal with it until this late game if you can get there?
I mean, it's definitely something they got to shore up here. I mean, Mind Goblins is rotating very well right now. They're grouping up. They're putting pressure on them. They're handling it fairly decently. I mean, it's only 5-1. It's just about a 2K gold lead. It doesn't really seem that bad to me, though. I mean, I believe they're handling the fights well. As you saw in that last fight, it was kind of just a draw, with the Kepri being able to revive Dummy there. I think it's going okay for the Cursed Cowboys right now, but Mind Goblins definitely have their foot on the pedal and are looking to press it.
Doesn't like, you know, we do have the everyone wanting to fight in solo lane here, as nobody's gonna fall. If you are the Mind Goblins, you know, you do have this early lead, you are applying pressure. Is this the point where you might start trying to look for objectives? You know, get this gold scope down, get the fire scope down, try to maybe, with the dive comp that you have early, go in for an early gold fury just to push that lead even further?
Absolutely. Like you say, they're a dive comp team, so you have to be big. You have to have that farm. You can't be diving if you're under leveled. I mean, I think we both know, and everybody in Smite knows what happens when you try doing that. So you need to keep that farm up, push objectives, keep your wards, play your game, and I think they win it.
Yeah, I definitely think, you know, the later this game goes, the more in favor of Cursed Cowboys this is. But again, you know, you don't know how long that is going to go with a team that, you know, does have this composition. It looks like that's what they were looking for once they picked up that Tiamat. And they're ready to go nonstop. I mean, is there anything that you would change if you are Cursed Cowboys as far as these team fights go? As you know, Rama hasn't really been there. He's been a little bit down. As we do see a Loki go ahead and try to push as an invade for this Cthulhu, and they are gonna get the blue buff. So again, the farm is there. As we do see a gank from Ravana, but the dash from Chiron here. We do see Rama go up into the sky. Chiron does come out as well, but it looks like Vile is gonna pick up Killjoy here. So, you know, as we see the Taiko drums come out as well, but it looks like it is just used as defensive mechanics here. So back to, you know, the fight in the duo lane. We were just talking about what do we want to see, and Vile delivers. Absolutely delivers. What did you see in that fight, you know, that kind of changed how that went? Because it looked like Chiron was going to make it out of there and then just dropped, as we do see Ravana go ahead and pick up Dummy in the jungle there. So, Cursed Cowboys now pushing the objective. A total 180, correct?
Absolutely. They got their wards, as you can see there. They call it out. They all rotate to it. They get the kill, and they looked great.
And we do see a Cthulhu come out as well. Looks like Colin is going to drive on Yuri and pick up the kill. Tiamat and Kepri diving on the Colin as Sneaky is going to fall there. Ravana is being chased as well by Spooky. Spooky is going to try to drop him with this Tiamat, and it doesn't look like he has much time left, as Spooky is going to go ahead and pick up Mr. Peanut himself, as Geb is just going to retreat into safety. Wow, that was an absolute roller coaster there. You know, we did see Cursed Cowboys go ahead, push the objective, and Mind Goblins fought right back. That's kind of a punch in the gut, right?
Absolutely. You think it's going well, then all of a sudden you turn around and your team is not there anymore.
But that is this team comp, if I'm not mistaken, as they are going to go ahead and it looks like they're going to get this Pyromancer for free as Rama is on the Oracles. But Ryzen is kind of showing face there just a little bit, but I don't think he is going to go in. I don't think that's a great idea. We
Absolutely
are going to
not.
see, they do drop the Pyro. The Gold Scorp is down. If you are Mind Goblins, you're looking for the gold here, right, with the team comp that you have.
Absolutely. I mean, you want to be getting gold on cooldown. You always got to be looking for objectives. That's the name. I mean, that's how you feed. I mean, that's how you win games.
It looks like this dual lane, just going to trade farm in and out here as the Geb is rotating over. We might try to see a little play here on this Gold Fury very early. Geb, Khepri, very hard to kill. I don't see anything coming of this yet, as we do have the Ryzen showing up as well. But Khepri level 10, Geb level 7. I don't see that happening within the first 12 minutes, as we do see a dive here. That can change some stuff, as Geb is at half health. We are going to see the Khepri ult come out on himself, but it doesn't look like it is going to matter as everybody is there. A great rotation as Sneaky is going to pick up the kill with Kukulkan, and they are looking to head directly to this Gold Fury with Tiamat and Chiron looming in the area. So this fight is definitely not over, as we do see the zoning come out as they start this Gold Fury. Chiron ult does come out here, and it looks like Tiamat is going to go ahead and dive as well. Killjoy is going to pick up the kill on Lucio and the kill on Sneaky, and Dummy is going to go ahead and pick up Taz. So a great re-engage from the Mind Goblins there, as they are, it looks like they should take this gold, correct? So a great fight there.
It's amazing. I mean, that Tiamat got in there, went to ground stance, instant double kill. Just absolutely turned that fight. And now the whole team's there, they get gold.
We love that. Yep, an absolutely great fight, and they do get that free Gold Fury there. So again, another kind of just a knockdown. You have a great fight there. You kind of push everybody out, but they don't leave. They do not come back. They just keep coming back, and it never seems to fail. It seems like this Cthulhu and this Tiamat right now are just causing all kinds of problems. With the CC that the Cthulhu has, Dummy's just kind of running in there, doing whatever he wants. Again, we're looking at an invade on this red here from Dummy as well. I mean, he's doing Loki things, right? That's what you want to do as Loki, is just kind of be there and take everything you can.
Absolutely. You run around that map stealth, just taking camps, doing what you want.
Looks like Ravana is looking at this Loki, but it doesn't look like anything is going to come of it. So, we don't see any necessarily grouping other than the one Gold Fury. I do think I want to see a little bit more grouping from the Cursed Cowboys to let that, like you said, that Rama go ahead and just kind of get in there and do what he needs to do. I mean, he is level 13. He is going with the bow build, it does look like, which is a little different here, especially in this meta. Is that something that you like there on that Rama, the bow build, with the steroid that he has?
He's definitely one of the few AA gods that can still utilize that build. I'm not sure if I'm still going the full build with Dominance being as good as it is right now. I love that item. I'm hoping to see it in his build for some pen. He's going to need it. He's down against a Tia, Cthulhu. I mean, you need that. You need that pen. You need a Quinsai. He's just got to get caught back up here. Hopefully, Scene can help him get there.
Yeah, and we do, see on the other side, Chiron with the standard, Transcendence, Leather Cow, Jotuns, and he's just doing massive damage. I mean, you see he's top player damage for a reason at 5 and 1. And this looks like Ravana is going to try to handle that situation, but Chiron with the cleanse is going to get out of there. I do agree with what they're doing here, Blizz. You do kind of want to try to shut this Chiron down because he seems to be the bane of your existence right now. As they are going to go ahead and dive here. It looks like they might get this T1. They are going to go ahead and get the T1, as we do see a little bit of a gank here from the Ravana, but there are 3 members as Frenzy is popped. Ravana in a bad spot, but he is going to use the ultimate to dive and get out of there. So another good fight from Cursed Cowboys. You don't lose anybody just yet. It looks like they might be trying to punish the Ravana as the blink does go down there. So you do get the blink, for a T1. That might help in some team fights. As Khepri is not done yet. He's going to go in on this Ravana as well as the Loki. Loki is diving on the Ravana and the Raijin here. Doesn't look like anything's going to come about of it just yet, but they are all grouped in left lane. We are looking for a huge fight here. This is a big fight as the stun does come out from Geb to just try to peel for everybody. And Killjoy is going to find Lucio, and Dummy is going to go ahead and pick up the kill on Sneaky as well behind the Cthulhu. Cthulhu is in the Phoenix. He is diving like a madman. We do see Colin just kind of hitting that damage from afar. So, another great fight from Mind Goblins. I mean, you know, we talk about dive comp. We just saw Cthulhu in a Phoenix with a T2 up. How does that make you feel if you're Cursed Cowboys?
No, it would make me feel. It would make me feel very well. Seeing a whole entire team just dive you through your tier 2 into Phoenix would not make me feel very good. Mind Goblins, they're ahead. They're playing well and they're pushing it and they're showing it. Cursed Cowboys, they just need to group up better. Just try to get that farm back. I think they need to stop trying to force the issue here. It's just getting turned around on them almost every fight.
Yeah, I agree. Like we had talked about, you know, before, I think the later this game goes, I mean, they are proving me wrong. It seems like, you know, the snowball is starting to develop a little bit. But I still think, you know, if you can get to that late game, you know, after 20 minutes, 25 minutes, they can compete.
Anything can happen.
Absolutely,
Anything can happen after 25 minutes. One team fight, one fire giant fight can change the entire outcome of the game.
And I think if you are the Cursed Cowboys, that's what you're looking for here. You know, the one pick on Fire Giant, the one, you know, misplay at a T2 from Mind Goblins, because at this point, you know, with Ravana at level 17, and we see it looks like Loki's picking up the Cursed Gauntlet there, so going for a little bit of lifesteal, which, you know, keep him in a fight a little bit longer. I don't necessarily disagree with it, but not the standard there, I should say.
I mean, he's 3 levels ahead of his counterpart, 3 levels ahead of almost everybody else in the team. It's a blood forge. I think that's what will be coming out for Dummy there, which, I mean, absolutely. I mean, you're there to dive, get that kill, get that shield, and keep going.
Speaking of dive, it looked like they're going to drop off of the Fire Giant and pick up Lucio Killjoy with another kill himself. So a little bit of overextension there from Lucio, and they're going to go right back to this Fire Giant as Kepri is sticking right on it. Tiamat, and it looks like the Kepri setting on the fire as everybody else is zoning with Killjoy there on the Chiron just to melt the FG. I don't know if this is something the Cursed Cowboys need to do, but it looks like they are going to go ahead and dive, and they're going to drop the Fire Giant again and go on this Kukulin. All of those being dropped. The Kukulin ultimate does come out with the knockup, just trying to get away as he does hit the Rage. Loki diving the backline on the Raijin. And it looks like the Taiko drums are going to come out as well as the arrows from Chiron. They're going to get the Raijin out with the Cthulhu ult coming into play, and Killjoy picking up another kill. This time pick up Sneaky as we see the Ravana having the back on the dual lane. So they're going to try this fire again. So dropping it a second time to pick up that kill. I mean, the aggression there is just unbelievable. Is that the play there to just go ahead and, you know, get off this Fire Giant and try to get everybody there to melt it?
I mean, they keep diving them, like I said, and every time they do that, they get turned right around, and that's what happens. They took another 3 deaths there, and now this is an absolute free Fire Giant for them. I think you got to try to just leave that Rama back. Hopefully you can snipe it. Every time they dive, it just gets turned around right on them.
Yeah, again, I think it's one of those things where now, you know, I mean, look at the player damage chart. You have Killjoy, you know, 20 minutes in, 12k damage. Tiamat, 10k. Loki, 10k. Cthulhu, they're top 4, other than, you know, obviously Kepri, who, I don't know if you know this, is not the biggest damage dealer in the world. That top 4 is just miles ahead. I mean, they're ahead of the Ravana at top damage, you know? So I think you play for that pick that we've been talking about. You know, after 20 minutes, anything can happen. One drop, you never know what happens, with, especially with the Fire Giant that they have. If you are, I know it's hard to say this, especially with the team that they have, because you're not engaging, you're more reacting if you are Cursed Cowboys. But who are you trying to prioritize in this fight? I assume it's going to be Killjoy on this Chiron, who's 9-1, correct?
Absolutely. You got to get him out of there. He just sits back and free fires every single fight. He has seen 0 resistance almost the entire game, besides a few ganks over in his lane. He's just being left in the back to free cast, and you see the outcome. He's dominating.
Now, is that more of a hey, this is the comp that we're going to have to where you can't dive us, or it looks like this Kepri is playing super well as the Cthulhu is just going to push out this Raijin and Geb here. Nothing going to come of it really, but this Kepri's been playing great, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Multiple revives, setting up, healing. If, he's just Dino Sir is popping off right now.
And speaking of dive, here we see the Loki go ahead and pick up Taz with the ultimate coming out as they are diving the Phoenix. And it looks like this is going to come relatively easy as far as picking up the Phoenix, but they're not done yet as Killjoy is going to go ahead and pick up a File. Spooky is going to pick up Sneaky on that Kukulin, and the Ravana is left basically to fend by himself with this Geb as they're going to go ahead and try to end the game here.
Absolutely, I would. 5-member fire. You've been dominating all game, 3 dead, and
Killjoy picking up another kill as well just to seal the deal. So a great first game from Mind Goblins. I'm gonna ask you the question, but I definitely think I know your answer already. Why did that go so good? I mean, it can't be, Killjoy 11-1, right? Carrying that game. Am I correct?
I mean, he definitely had something to do with it. Yeah, I'll agree with you there. They just played as one cohesive unit. They had the dive, they had the damage, they had the peel.
I mean,
Can't.
also we need to shout out the Spooky 3-0-12 on the Tiamat. We talked about the Tiamat being one of the best gods in the game, and it definitely showed there. If you're cursed Cowboys, how do you bounce back from a defeat like this? I mean, it was close for a little bit, and then it just snowballed out of control with Killjoy and Dummy, kind of just doing whatever they wanted to.
I was close for a little bit there at the beginning. I was surprised it took off that quickly. They looked like they were playing pretty well early and handling it, and I think it just came down to the grouping. It got out of control. Mind Goblins just took control of it. The dive is great, damage is great, peel great. It's just a great overall team win.
Yeah, I definitely think that was played. I mean, as well as it can go for a team comp like that. And with that, we are going to go ahead and take a quick intermission before the second game, and we will be right back. In game one win, Blizz, and I don't know how you respond if you are Cursed Cowboys from that game.
I think you just got to reevaluate your game plan. Your hunter there, Vile was just massively behind all game. Without a hunter in this meta, you really don't stand much chance, especially into a dive tanky comp. You need that hunter online with that pen build with Kins to just help that team fight out.
Yeah, and we do see Killjoy, I mean, you're talking about the Hunters 11-1. Game one, he was at least a little bit of a problem. I think,
Uh,
everybody kind of focused on that Tiamat, and Killjoy was like, hey, don't forget about me, guys. I'm right here. And definitely proved why you need to be afraid of him.
oh, absolutely. Killjoy just killed that game. Like you said, 11-1, top damage, nailing abilities. Nobody could even get close to him. Their dive was just immense. It was just after the first 12 minutes, that game was just a snowball.
Absolutely. And it does look like we're going to go ahead and get into the picks and bans here. So, after seeing game one, what are we looking at for the bans here from both teams? I know, Mind Goblins kind of, like you said, snowballed early, but there are some things that you need to clean up. Curse Cowboys definitely, yeah, mid game did look like they were going to turn it around there for a second. So how do we change that for both teams as we do see the Merlin come out again from the ban and Persephone?
I would definitely think that they would have to ban the Tiamat here. That was a huge problem. Maybe even spend one on that Chiron as well. Make Killjoy play something else and do the same thing to you.
And it does look like we are going to see the Tiamat finally get a ban that it deserves. So a great call, correct? A great call.
Absolutely. I mean, tremendous problem. Just dive in your front line and back line, destroying both that whole game. Almost unkillable.
After the two bans there with the Terra and the Chiron that we see getting banned, the Geb is hovered. Get first pick worthy here as we see it locked in.
Absolutely. Just lock down your guardian there. I mean, Gav's amazing right now. His ult in team fights, game changer. Like I said before in the first game, obviously we saw it picked in the first game. It's prioritized heavily.
And it looks like an A Wheelix is going to be hovered with a Sobek. I do like A Wheelix's damage output in this meta, but do you take it with the Geb being the only thing taken there as we see a set also hovered and a Chronos?
I mean, I definitely love Wilix right now
Time
too.
is on my side.
But again, I also feel like she has to have at least something coming from that other team to help her out. You can't just pick knockups on your own team. It's so much better for her to have that advantage on her opponent that has a jump, so that you can use that with her ult. I mean, with 40% cooldown, her ult's up almost every 50 seconds or something. So you're just ulting and ulting and ulting, and it's harder to do that when you have to rely on somebody to set it up instead of them just jumping for you. And then we see the set in Kronos, like you said. I like the set right now. He's always been good, not great, lately. Kronos, haven't seen him in a long time. I'm interested to see where he goes, if it's mid or ADC. And then we see the Medusa come out. Now, another pick that you don't really see too much of lately. I'm interested to see the build in that, if it's more of an attack speed build or more of a damage build, which I think it should be damage.
Yeah, I am curious to see where this Chronos goes just because, like you said, I mean, you don't see set played in the solo lane very much anymore. But, with Killjoy, we could see a set ADC here and a Chronos mid. So, it's
Anything's
definitely
possible.
interesting as we do see, after the Ardio and the King Arthur ban, the Scotty and the Ryzen ban here, we do see Agni being hovered.
The Scotty ban is a little confusing to me. I understand there's a power build going on right now, but I still don't believe she is pickable, I guess I would say.
Yeah, especially with, there's a lot of hunters available. Actually, the only other one that was banned is Chiron. And I don't see, as we see the Agni getting changed to a Scylla here. So, that's not, you're talking about the Awilix. There's not a ton of knockups here.
No, no, there is not. They then go two gods in a row with no knockups. Um,
Oh no.
I don't hate the Arachne hover here into this comp.
Arachne, man. Come on, we can't do that. As we do see, it looks like Baka's coming out instead. But man, I want to see the
Oh,
Arachne.
I definitely hate the Baka into this. I would definitely prefer the Arachne with that Baka jump. Then we see Apollo hovering.
All right, so it looks like Apollo is gonna. There is no set ADC today,
No,
unfortunately. And my personal favorite god, Amaterasu, going to the solo lane, right?
The law
I would
returns to this
imagine
land.
so, unless it could be set solo. I'm a jungle. Seen it before plenty of times.
We do see a tier get locked in here at the solo lane. Again, assuming. So we see everybody locked in here. Mind Goblins with that team comp in the first game kind of just dove, did what they want. What are we looking at here, game two? Who are we favoring? What's the idea for both teams?
Uh, Mind Goblins comp is just kind of all over the place for me. They have a lot of setup with the Geb, set slows, Ama ult, Apollo with the rotations. Nobody on the other side can match that. Um, I mean, they could definitely rotate and continue that pressure in any lane they want.
Do agree with you there. The Medusa, like you said, they're curious to see where it goes as far as, if it's going to be a attack speed build, a power build. But the only thing that I'm really, second guessing here is that a Wheelix pick, unless, you're just going to stick to that Sobek, but he's got to
Oh,
hit his
they got
pucks.
tier. They got tier.
That is true. That is
They
true.
got the fearless.
But
But
with
yeah, like other than that, there's nobody on Mind Goblins with the jump.
yeah, that's not the best idea. But hey, I could be completely wrong here, and Mr. Peanut goes absolutely nuts on Awilix. That's why it's RSL, man.
He could
Anything can
absolutely
happen.
could.
And we're gonna go ahead and transition right into the game here. So it does look like it is the set ADC
We
Chronos
are
in
seeing it.
mid. and it looks like an Apollo jungle. So we were totally wrong here.
We couldn't have been more off.
That is absolutely mental with the team that you have, that you're going to go with this ADC instead, but he does bring great pressure. um is this something that we could be seeing from them more, or is this something that they're just wanting to try out to see if it can work at this level?
Well, I mean, something to try out to see if it should work should be set aside for scrims. I'm not sure if they might be trolling a little bit here, or maybe Killjoy is just an insane set ADC. Who knows? Maybe
I wouldn't put
Dummy.
it past him, is what I'm
I,
saying.
I mean, we just saw him on the Chiron there, and he was dominant. So anything's possible.
Set ADC, that just mental to me. So wow, caught me completely off guard. So what are we doing here for Mind Goblins? What are we doing here for Cursed Cowboys? Are they both, we're gonna see a lot of pressure from Mind Goblins again early game? Or are we gonna see people waiting till the late game? What is in store for us in this set here?
I believe in Goblins just tries to push it again. I mean, that Kronos stun, spooky, he hits that, it's that stun there. Dummy comes in, Mez. That's almost an easy kill right there in mid off the get go.
And not to mention that Dummy has great rotation out of any spot on the map with that Apollo ult, as we do see Sobek pluck the Geb here. Geb in a little bit of danger with the knockup, and Lucio is gonna find the Sobek and Mega very early for the first blood. So, we talked about that high pressure dual lane, and it's the exact opposite as we see a blink in from Sobek. The miss, it does miss, but it gets the beads from Set anyway. So a good little trade out there, getting the Set beads, even though the pluck is going to miss there. And we do see the aggression shown very early from Cursed Cowboys. As
Absolutely.
we see, Tyr is going to go ahead and try to pick off this Amaterasu very early. And he actually he is going to go ahead and just retreat there. I think he definitely could have pushed that a little bit more. I know he was on cooldown, as we do see Dummy on this Apollo heading over to the Awilix, who is invading here. Is a level down still, as Tyr is going to follow up just to protect for his jungle. As they're looking to fight here, this Apollo and this Awilix very early. And they're going to just kind of poke and trade. So again, we couldn't be more wrong. I don't know how this keeps happening. We see Cursed Cowboys showing aggression very, very early to kind of just challenge Mind Goblins. Is that a good thing here? Because I definitely think you can be punished for that with the comp that they have, right?
You absolutely can, but I mean, at this point, the way that the first game went, you looked good early, and then just kind of snowballed on you, and you looked pretty bad. And I think you got to come out confident, try to play your game. You can't just sit back and just let them have to get to 30 minutes and win. And you got to play the game and show that you can, and I think they have so far.
Do agree here, as we do see the dual lane, just kind of hovering around, getting that farm up that they need, as it looks like we might be having a rotation from the Sobek on this Kronos in the mid lane. And he is going to hit the pluck on him right into the Scylla, but the Scylla Brute does not hit. And Kronos is going to make it out of there unscathed. Just a little bit of half health, but the gank does not happen, as we do see a little bit of fighting as well on the Geb. And Medusa Set is going to go ahead and teleport in. And he is not going to find the Medusa there. Wow, that was really close, as we see another rotation from this Awilix on the Set here. Sobek following Set and Geb both very low, as Lucio is going to find Killjoy again, as Geb is just retreating for his life. So another great rotation from Cursed Cowboys to pick up and shut down, the Killjoy that went absolutely insane last game.
Absolutely, they're looking good early. That Willis has been Peanuts has been all over the place. Sobex nailed some ults. Flux, Lucio's looking good right now. They are looking good as a team. They're looking confident. They're playing aggressive, playing well.
Yeah, this is definitely the Cursed Cowboys that we wanted to see in Game 2. As we see, the Apollo is going to show face in mid lane. Kronos and Geb following right behind here, as we could see a fight. But it looks like Scylla and Sobek are just going to go ahead and check these side camps and stay out of harm's way, as this tier is, as expected, bodying this Amaterasu very early, but that's just tier things, an absolute lane bully. As we do see Apollo and Sobek both heading over here, as well as the Geb following behind, and a Wheelix. This could be a decent fight here. As in the meantime, Vile is going to go ahead and pick up Killjoy in the duo lane. Ama is going to go ahead and dive on this tier. We do see a Sobek dive just maybe to get out of harm's way, the waste of that ultimate, as Kronos is going to go ahead and rotate over to find Lucio here. Lucio is very low, might have to retreat, as the Apollo and the Wheelix and Tier and Ama still kind of just posturing in this solo lane.
Can we talk about that solo kill?
Absolutely.
Over in duo there. Medusa on that. On Killjoy there. Viol's taking him down. That Medusa early can absolutely melt anybody if you hit that whole kit. Acid, dash, one for that tick damage and all the basics. Absolutely nasty.
Maybe Vile heard us talking about, you know, not being a huge factor in the game with, you know, all the peel and the dive comp that they had, and he's like, I'm gonna take this into my own hands right here.
Absolutely.
He is pushing the objective himself. He said, I am the win condition.
Absolutely. Sometimes it's like that. You might get beat up one game, but if you know you're a good player, you know you're a good ADC, you just come back. I'm assuming this Medusa's got to be a comfort pick, and he's looking very comfortable on it early.
Speaking of comfort pick, I know it is a great pick, but Lucio on the Sobek looking absolutely amazing, right?
Oh, amazing. Has hit multiple plucks, peeling, getting out.
As we do
He's
see,
setting up.
it looks like, speaking of Sobek, Geb is going to roll in there. They might be pushed up a little bit too much, as there are 4 of the Mind Goblins in this duo lane, possibly looking for a rotation as the Apollo ult does come out. And the Sobek ult does also come out just to kind of get out of harm's way. So, you know, a good rotation from the Mind Goblins, but they don't seem to find anything, as this Wheelix is looking for a backdoor on this Apollo here. And it does look like the Mez does come out, but it looks like he is still going to fall, as the Scylla Crush does come, or this I'm a Monster comes out, matter of fact. And Killjoy is going to pick up the Wheelix. A great change of events there for the Mind Goblins, as they're not done yet, as Spooky is going to pick up Taz on this Kronos. Oh man, here we go again, this back and forth. This is going to be another one of those games where they just want to play arena.
It's just all over the place. There's no target selection call. There's about 3 1v1s going on at that fight at one point. It was just a sloppy fight that ended up in my favor.
Yeah, we didn't watch a team fight there. We just watched 3 games of duel in the duo.
Basically, that's what it was.
I do like, you know, the Wheelix trying to dive there, but just that mess from Apollo saved him in a great counter. As it looks like the Medusa stun is going to come out. Set is very, very low, as Vile is going to go ahead and pick up Killjoy again and get the purple.
Vile's looking great on this Medusa. Complete 180 from the round of the first game. Absolutely great.
I absolutely agree with that. Vile is looking fantastic on this pick over here. Definitely giving some problems for Killjoy, definitely more than the first game. I'm curious to see if he can keep this lead up. I want to see, you know, Cursed Cowboys, not with necessarily a lead, but they definitely are showing the aggression very early. It is only about 1,300 gold lead, so nothing insurmountable by any means.
No.
But, you know, I do want to see Cursed Cowboys playing as aggressive as they are. Push the objective. Maybe they haven't. As we see the Wheelix go ahead and pick up Spooky there, but we do see a Geb ult come out with a huge stun. Sobek and the I'm a Monster is there. Set is looking to come into this fight from behind, and I don't know if they know he's there or not, as they are huge damage coming out from the Set ADC, and Dummy is going to go ahead and pick up Lucio, and they're not done yet, as the Amaterasu Shine comes out. They are going to stun, and Killjoy is going to pick up Taz. Dummy is going to pick up the Wheelix again, and he is going to pick up Vile as well. We do see Tier come in, and they are going to get out from what it seems like. He's not done on this Apollo here, not done on Set either, but looks like those 4 might just be a little bit too much for a Tier to handle. So another great fight from the Mind Goblins. What did you see in that fight that, you know, just kind of swayed in their favor?
Just jumped on one single target there in the jungle. The red. There's kind of a late rotation of the sneaky there. Emma was there Taz just absolutely decimating his health bar. As you saw at the end here, just kind of comes in and ults, tries to take out that ammo, but she dashes away. It was just kind of a sloppy fight yet again.
Yeah, I definitely think, wards would help on that side. I don't know if they just didn't have any or they dewarded very early. I mean, either way, a great rotation from Killjoy. And again, we talked about how good Vile looked. You can't ever count out Killjoy on, any ADC at this point in the game. So I'm curious to see how that duo lane fight is going to go. They keep trading blows back and forth. It seems like Vile's got the little bit of an edge in the solo part, but Killjoy just playing a great team fight. And it looks like we have a war flag here. Oh man, what do we think about a war flag coming out in this game?
I did not even notice that. I was just assuming that I would never see that in a comp game.
As Medusa is going to go ahead and ult. We see the Geb ult as well, and Spooky is going to pick up. So another great fight here as we see a knock-up and the pull from a Willix, and the Kronos does not get his ult off. Sobek is going to pluck. The I'm a Monster does not hit, but they are definitely still on the attack here. A knock-up from Peanut is going to go ahead and pick up Mega Dino as well. Killjoy looking like it's a 1v4 here, and he does not care. Going to go ahead and dive in with the Apollo ultimate coming out from the sky to help peel for this set. The Scylla Crush comes out. Tyr is going to dive and pick up Killjoy as well. Wow. Wow, this is very, very fast-paced, and I am absolutely here for it.
Tina is just looking very good on the Willix right now. She's making good plays. Tina is looking great in the Willix. What else can I say?
And it looks like Dummy's going to go ahead and pick up that Peanut, maybe a little overstaying just a little bit as the team is up. Sobek is going to fall as well. So, they're not done yet either. It looks like they are diving this backline like crazy. Tyr is going to go ahead and hit that Fearless, but they're not done yet as Kronos is going to go ahead and looks like he's going to miss the ability there that just keeps the Tyr alive. Medusa also very low health. So is this also, I mean, it looks like, again, we talked about it in game one. They had the kills, they had the objectives, and they kind of just overstayed, if I'm not mistaken, because they're going to give up a Gold Fury for free.
Absolutely, and Dummy on this Apollo is looking amazing. 6-0. Just free casting on anybody. Nobody's doing anything to stop this man.
Do agree there as they're going to go ahead and get that Gold Fury, get the red buff on the Kronos here. So, Curse Cowboys, I think you just need to regroup here. You've had great team fights from what I understand. It's just maybe a little bit of overextension, a little overzealous, I would say, after picking up the Killjoy or the Dummy. If you are Curse Cowboys, how do you prioritize team fights here with I wouldn't say a meta, a team that's a little bit different, having the Apollo, jungle, and the Killjoy as set in the ADC role?
Well, every team fight, it just seems like Goblins are just all out diving. So I think maybe you just take that tier, tell them, hey, we're going to need you to peel off for damage here. I mean, Scylla is just getting dove almost every fight, having almost no impact.
Speaking of dive, we see the Geb is going to go ahead and dive here on this A Willix, both in very low health. We see the ult come out from Medusa, but it doesn't matter as Killjoy is going to pick up Vile in that duo lane as we see another fight happening here in the mid lane. Maybe Tyr out of position a little bit. Ama and Kronos diving this Tyr as he is just going to retreat back to safety. The Crush used just as a peel. Sorry to interrupt there, but again, we have this crazy, crazy fast game going on. Vile and Killjoy, they're playing arena over there in that duo lane.
They're just going at it, having fun. You love to see it over there. There we go. Have a pirate. They're starting to hit them objectives, and their gold lead is starting to take off. It's up to 2,600 now at about 14 minutes, which isn't too bad, but it is a lead, and they're looking much better in team fights than Curse right now.
Yeah, and Dummy, Dummy is 3 levels ahead of the A Willix. The XP difference is almost at 5,500, so definitely something there, mostly through Dummy. Is that somebody, with an Apollo like that, hitting as hard as he does, with a fully stacked trans, is that somebody you look at for the team fights, or is that somebody you're like, man, we need to get him by himself first to be able, try to stop him there?
I mean, obviously you would hope you could find him out by himself and pick him off, but Mind Goblins are just grouping too well. I mean, he can just be up in the air, so you don't even have a chance to pick him off with his ult. I mean, Dummy just flies around looking for his target. He calls it, Geb ult, Apollo ult right on top. What are you going to do?
And something very scary with this lead here. It does look like Apollo, Dummy, going for a little bit of Wind Demon. A little bit of crit here with the spear. So he's going to hit. Oh, and it looks like we are going to have a fight over here as Killjoy is going to pick up Vile on the Draugr. Sobek is hovering around the area, but they are going to get the Draugr relatively for free here, the set at half health. So another great fight from Geb and Seth there. Mega and it looks like the Kronos ult is gonna come out as well as we have another fight in the mid lane. The I'm a Monster does come out, but oh my, Dummy goes ahead and picks up the Scylla before the I'm a Monster can come out.
Oh,
Wow, and they are
Dummy.
picking up the A. Dummy, you legend, you.
Dummy.
You legend, you. Unbelievable.
Absolutely melts that Scylla.
Wow, what? So again, like you said, they're gonna get this T1 for free, but he's just hovering around in the air, and
He's just calling out shots. He flies around in the air. He sees what he sees. He sees something good, dives it. He's got what, a 3-level lead on at least everybody. 4 on some. He's got a 7-level lead on Lucio. Albeit it's a support, but it's still 7 levels.
all I'm gonna say here is, Spooky, you better buy Dummy dinner today, because that was insane.
Yeah, this Apollo jungle is looking mighty fine right about now.
Yeah, again, we talked about, is this something that they just wanted to try here since the game 1 went really well? No, not at all. They have definitely been playing this, and they know what they're doing.
He definitely looks like he's played Apollo once or twice.
He definitely has, and Killjoy doesn't look bad on this set either.
Oh no, it was a slow start for him, but I think he's got 2 solo kills in a row now. Well, Geb was there the last time, but it was pretty much a solo kill. He's turned it around and he's looking good on the set ADC.
Yeah, and we just see, the massive damage numbers coming from that Apollo. I mean, he's at 10k damage already, 8k damage on the set, and the next closest one is Vile, who has been playing very well, but 6k damage. So again, we had talked about this very early before this set even started. These are 2 that you do not want to get ahead and get snowballing, because they definitely can just take over a game.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what they're doing. They got 2-level lead in the duo. It was just a 3-level lead in mid, but turned to 2. 4-level lead in the jungle. Just a 1-level lead in solo, but still, I mean, you have a massive experience lead. Your gold lead has blossomed to 6,300. It's time for them to start pushing objectives and pushing towers.
It looks like they are going to go ahead and start pushing the objectives, like you said, with this Gold Fury being attacked with Vile and Lucio in the looming area here, as they are going to go ahead and contest this fight. But it looks like they think wiser and just back off and give this gold for free. A good call, if I'm not mistaken, correct? As we
Absolutely,
well,
yeah.
I might have spoke too soon, as Yuri is going to pick them up. The I'm a Monster comes out on Dummy, finally shutting us down. The Gib ult does come out. The pluck from Sobek. They're not done yet either, as Awilix is going to have to jump to get away. Still definitely in danger here. Not done fighting yet, as this Kronos is going to go ahead and slam on the tier. And it looks like they're going to get out of harm's way. So you do get what you want out of that fight. I mean, they do get the gold, but Dummy finally falls, right? The unkillable falls.
Yeah, he got nailed by Taz in that ult, and kind of just went bye-bye. But it was a good kill for Cowboys there. I mean, that's the one guy you need to kill, really, right there. I mean, he's now just running through your team. But even so, they give up the gold. They just lose left tier 1. I mean, they can't really stop them at this point. They're so far down. All they can do is just try to hold them.
Yeah, you definitely play as a team here. I do think, it's definitely still not out of reach, but you do have to play pretty much perfect with the lead and the way that, not even just Killjoy and Dummy. Everybody on this team is playing, it looks like they all have the same mind. They all have the right target prioritization. They are playing fantastic right now. And no knock to Curse Cowboys either, because they are playing just as well. It just seems that this comp is causing problems for them.
Absolutely, that Apollo ult has been devastating to them so far. And again, with none of them having that jump on their team, this Awilix is just doing what she can to try to get some setup from the team to utilize that ult better.
absolutely. And it looks like, they are just going to ward here, set up for a Fire Giant. Awilix is in the mid lane set. Looks like he might be going on this Awilix with Geb following very shortly behind. It looks like we are going to see some grouping in mid. So, just an absolute great play from over there. They do get the T1, with that Gold Fury. But I think they just need to stay grouped together. I think the team fight is there. But, man, that Apollo is just huge right now. That is somebody, the Deathbringer and Wind Demon. Blizz, those are some high damage numbers, right?
Jeez. Yeah, 20, level 20 before 20 minutes. When you're doing that one, it's almost impossible to stop. You have a Deathbringer online as your second crit item before 20 minutes. This guy is going to be almost 3-shotting these squishies, maybe even 2-shotting them. He's going to be pumping out that damage.
And what about the set here? Kind of like a little bit of a weird, like a good build, 2 items. As it finishes, we do see a fight in the jungle as Spooky is gonna pick up Sneaky here. Sobek is just gonna get out of harm's way there as we see the split push from the Apollo. A great jungle player split pushing. Wow, insane. It looks like they're gonna go on the left side as well. 2 towers falling as they are going to group here. This Kronos, Geb, and Ama pushing this left side with Set.
Absolutely.
And the T2 is going to fall as well. So back to, what I was saying here. The Set, we do have a little bit of fighting. Oh, the crit front and hitting the Willix very hard. She's definitely going to have to retreat there. Just the mental damage numbers coming out there. He's a problem.
Absolutely.
He's a problem, Blizz.
Absolutely. I mean, he hit 2 shots, half health, a little over. I mean, that's, if you get 4 autos and kill somebody, I mean, it just makes life incredibly easy for you as a follow. And their tower push and split push is insane. I mean, Spooky on the Kronos, he's got that auto boost on his 2. Even Ama, auto attack base Set. I mean, these guys could easily just melt any Phoenix they wanted right now.
Something that is going to help out, I do see, Tier building the Spectral. I think the Sobek is going to prioritize that as well, correct?
Would hope so. With how far behind he is and how much damage he's going to be taking, you need it. And Apollo, the dummy's got to be one of your main targets, if not your main target. You have to get him out of that fight if you hope to stand a chance.
And I do want to bring up something here. We did see Killjoy with a Katana and the Thousand Blade, and he has switched that into a Serrated Edge and a Mace. What's the idea behind that, if you even have one?
At this point, he might just be trying out builds, or maybe he bought the wrong item. I'm not too sure. Who knows at this point? I mean, at this point, it also even looks like it doesn't really matter. I mean, he hasn't died in a while. He's just soloed Vile the past couple times.
We see a Frenzy come out here. The I'm a Monster is going to connect. Medusa's Gaze does come out. Killjoy is going to still pick up Vile regardless. Killjoy is also going to pick up Peanut. Lucio finds the Killjoy. The Apollo ult coming out of nowhere for the double kill. Again, this Apollo.
Oh,
just great plays.
Just unstoppable. He's just been on point with every ult, just landing on multiple enemies every time.
Oh man, I mean, from somebody who plays jungle, I'm clapping. I know you can't see it, but I'm clapping. Just absolutely playing out of his mind as they're gonna melt this FG. Cursed Cowboys, they are coming up here, 20 seconds. What do you do with, a team rolling like this?
At this point, I think try to pray and hold that Phoenix as much as possible, but well, I was them. I would have pushed this Phoenix. They still have 4 down. I think they could easily push that Phoenix to get back out. But I also don't hate it. I'm sure they have a bunch of gold to go back and spend that up. You see a pop over here, dummy, hit that gold. Take that final 2-2. Get them Phoenixes.
Yeah, the only thing that I see here, they have such a big lead right now. I mean, 2 levels in the mid, 3 levels, sorry, in the jungle, 2 levels in solo. You're gonna, as he's critting for 1200. I know it's just jungle camps, but good night.
Oh.
And it looks like he's gonna go into the Titan's Bane. Killjoy looks like he's gonna go into the Titan's Bane, but you are
Yeah.
giving Cursed Cowboys kind of a chance here, if I'm not mistaken. Again, we talked about it. After 25 minutes, when everybody's level 20, anything can happen, right?
One team fight can change the entire game. I mean, you can. Everybody in Smite has seen. If you were winning the entire game, you get to level 26, 27, one team fight, and you lose. I feel like they just need to group up and get these Phoenixes. They're just wasting Fire Giant. I think First is doing a great job right now, just making them run around the map.
I agree here. And it looks like Va's going to back. Geb is looking to engage. Maybe just show a little bit of face here. That way, Ackline can get in there and do some damage. Then again, Cursed Cowboys is, they're playing how they're supposed to. Making them run around the map, making them pick and choose their fights, maybe catch somebody out of place. But it looks like they're still going to dive anyways with this Fire Giant. We could be seeing a big fight coming here for the Cursed Cowboys. They're going to go ahead and drop.
Dummy's pushing up right.
Dummy is split pushing here, and that is a problem. And he's going to melt that Phoenix.
Yes, he is. Wow. They pay him no attention over there. They just let him have it.
Shout out Boomba's Spear for that one. That is mental. Cursed Cowboys is going to have to fall back to the Titan room. They are leaving 2 over here on this left side to deal with the Chronos and the set as Geb finally decides to go in. The Crush does come out, and it does pick up the set. They are going to pop the Frenzy here, and they are going to get the Phoenixes. We do see Apollo go ahead and ult. The I'm a Monster does come out again. Amaterasu hits Dazzling Gaze, and Medusa Freeze does not find anybody, it looks like, as they are still diving this Titan. Apollo is at half health. We do see kind of retreating here. So, they do get both Phoenixes there. A good fight. It doesn't look like they're stopping yet. This tier is diving in on the left side on 3 people. Cursed Cowboys might be looking to push the objective here. A little bit of a chase. And it looks like they are just going to go ahead and back off as it might try to find this Chronos. Maybe pushed up a little bit too far, but they are going to just decide to play as a blink comes out from a Wheelix. The jump here, and they're just going to get out of there. So, as far as what I see, a perfect play. You have that Apollo who's crazy fed, push that right lane by himself, and everybody else in left lane. What do you do about that?
I mean, you got to throw something. You're just giving away a free Phoenix, and then you'll give up the other one as well. You're just letting them take whatever they want. You got to put up some sort of fight here. I mean, I know you're down, but you're just letting them take the game away from you.
I do agree there. And it looks like, if you are the Mind Goblins, you just kind of group up and try to end here, right? Or are you wait for this Fire Giant to pop back up?
I'd probably just wait for the Fire Giant to respawn and hit it again, just so you can, have that with you. I'm assuming it's about to, and there it goes, falls off right there. So should be back up in another couple minutes. But just grab that, make sure your waves are pushed up, and end.
So this is the big fight for Cursed Cowboys. I mean,
I feel like
they have how you do it.
They have to
defend
right?
fire.
You have to. You have to. I mean, you have to.
I could see it, but with those 2 fire waves pushing in from right and left, I mean, with as much as I hate to say it, if you send 5 people there, and those fire minions get in, Apollo can end this game by himself.
He really could, absolutely. I mean, it's kind of the risk you got to take at this point. I mean, you can't stop them in a fight. It's been proven over and over and over again this game. I feel like you got to throw somebody over there at it. Maybe a tier all over the wall, Scylla Crush, Scylla Ult, something. I mean, you got to try to steal that away from them, because I just feel like it's instant game over if you just let them take it again.
And it looks like they are going to immediately try to melt this Fire Giant here. Cursed Cowboys are looming in the area here, maybe trying to get a pick just to stop, but it looks like, oh my gosh, those crit numbers, they're just going to take fire with ease. As we do see the Apollo ultimate come out here, he might be looking for Vile over here.
That man just crit the Fire Giant for 1,000 damage.
Yeah, he did. He's going to go ahead and... Is he going to try to... Nope, he's going to try to drop in on this Scylla. The Scylla does... I'm a Monster does come out just to kind of help. As Apollo might be in a bad spot here as Killjoy picks up Taz. Dummy does fall to Tier here. Tier going to go ahead and drive. Killjoy is going to pick up Vile. They are in the throne room here as Set is pushed out a little bit. Very low health on this Set. Got to be careful. Geb is going to go ahead and try to peel for him as he is diving back in as Prove me wrong. Set with another kill on this A Wheelix here as he is getting zoned out for this Titan. There really
Oh,
isn't any damage for this tier, trying to do all he can. They're finally going to go ahead and try to peel for this set here so he can get his damage off. Geb there too. Kronos there as well. Sobek back up here as it looks like Mind Goblins is going to retreat a blink from Sobek here. This fight actually isn't done yet. The slow from Kronos. We see him get slammed on, and Spooky is going to go ahead and pick up Lucio. Now they are going to re-engage. They have fire minions pouring in on the right side here. It looks like this could be the game as Tier hits a double fearless there, but Spooky is free casting on this Titan in the back. The Belt of Frenzy is popped, and that is gonna be the game. Game 2 to Mind Goblins. So another great game from Mind Goblins with the 2-0 here. I mean, we talked about Dummy the whole game. At the end of the day, set 24k damage, top damage. So, Killjoy again. It's unbelievable game.
he had a slow start, but man, did he turn it on late, and he looked very good on that set. Definitely, he's got me rethinking that set ADC. I might have to give it a try myself.
We do know you are an ADC man. That might be something. I mean, we play together. You might have to try that out.
At this point, I'm gonna need some lessons, Killjoy. Let me know.
Be in the DMs, right?
Absolutely.
But we do see, just a fantastic set, just a set in whole from Mind Goblins. I mean, they've looked unstoppable, and no knock to Curse Cowboys. It was a perfect game. I don't think it really mattered who they were playing. Everybody looked like they were in sync, knew what their role was, knew what they were doing from the drop.
Absolutely. Their team fight again was just unmatched. Dummy flying up in the air, just calling out the shots. Every time he dunks, it was multiple people getting hit. I mean, you see the 20k damage. He's all over the place. Set ADC, 24k damage. Spooky, 429, 14k damage. He was hitting his threes. He was hitting stuns. Setup. I mean, that's all that Dummy and Killjoy need. You give them a little bit of setup, they melt.
Do agree. And it looks like, with this set 2-0, Mind Goblins, if you guys want to hang around here for just a little bit, we are going to have an interview from the winning team, Mind Goblins, and we will be right back.